Alright, look out for Charlie here. I've spent a disgusting amount of time watching some of these paranormal shows, and they're all, 99.9% are all targeting. Or experimentation with these blue beam type weapons, visualizations, sound. And it seems as though in some of these areas they're doing these in sort of in a blanket. They're blanketing certain areas, seeing who catches on, and then hitting it. Or hitting like everybody that buys a new property. If you think that breakups are going to bring on demons, you're high. This particular one was proof positive to me that this was total and complete bullshit. The guy's not lying. He just doesn't know what it is. And real quick, look at his name. His name's Kriechbaum. He's German. I've said in many videos that a lot of the Caucasian people that are targeted are those of German ancestry.
I broke up with a girlfriend of 7 years. It was a low point in my life.
James was in a vulnerable place after the breakup, and that vulnerability opened a door to the spirit world.
No, it didn't. No, it didn't. Could you imagine if everybody that went through a breakup, demons came at you? It would be chaos in the streets out there. It would be like fucking Ghostbusters.
I was just on my couch, and all of a sudden, and I'm thinking I'm hearing something. It started real slow. Sounds like locusts. A singular hum of 1,000 of them at one pitch.
Okay, this was in his ears. This is typical. This happened to me. I could hear, and I've explained it in videos before. I said cicadas. Other people say locusts. It's what it's doing is it seems to be going back and forth between your left and right ear really quickly. This happens to everybody that starts with electronic targeting. Either it's flat out tinnitus, turns into tinnitus, but a lot of people it starts out as locusts. Some people get the diesel engine hum. Some people get different sounds. It's either the hum, the rumble, or what sounds like a muscle car idling down the street somewhere and you can't see it. Then you have the flat out tinnitus, the locusts, the buzzing, the hissing. Some people think it sounds like a sprinkler system. You know, it's all, there's like, I don't know, I would say when I read the stories, probably 4 or 5 different types.
Constantly. I looked around the house, I checked every room, I checked every space. I thought maybe, mice in the walls. I searched everywhere. I found nothing.
Of course you found nothing.
It's very deafening. I am totally thinking there's something wrong with me. I've got a brain tumor. Shut up!
Could you imagine if they fucking painted you out like that? Shut up! I would be so mad when I watched this and they had me painted out as some pansy.
In Ohio, homeowner James Kriechbaum was experiencing a mysterious and deafening sound inside his home.
What needs to be asked is, did he text about the breakup? I bet he did. The more you text about your personal stuff to these people that just become targets, that's where this information comes from. So either you texted about it or there was blanket surveillance going on in an area, but somehow somebody knew that you were under a high amount of stress. So the question has to be asked to all the normies out there, in what way did somebody find out that this person was going through an enormous amount of stress in their life to start doing this to them? Because this is how it happens.
Sound of those locusts, it was like 24/7, so you couldn't sleep. I really thought I'm losing my mind. I really thought I was losing my mind. I really felt sick, like flu-like symptoms, but the thing was I didn't have the flu. My whole body just felt sick, like a poison had gotten into my body.
Okay, no ghost or demon or ghoulie is going to give you the flu flu-like symptoms, or make you feel poisoned. This is exactly what I talked about when my shit first came on. I had what was like water running out of one nostril, flu-like symptoms. I thought I was poisoned at one point for certain. I felt poisoned. I even went to the hospital, and I don't go to the hospital unless I have a broken bone or I need stitches, flat out. And I didn't even think I was going to make it to the hospital desk. It felt like I was going to drop. I felt poisoned.
The headaches would start off the base of my neck, and they would just radiate up through my head, pretty much like that noise. It would start like at the middle of the back of my neck and radiate up and outward. And they were just
like the
nonstop.
noise.
That was just another thing added on, stacking on top of misery.
And that's what they do. You know, it would probably turn out if I asked this guy, hey, James Creechbaum, do you own guns? Do you own a gun? Do you have a gun in your house? Do you have access to guns? I guarantee you this guy probably has handguns, and they were probably trying to get him to the point where he was just feeling nuts, and either offed himself or wanted to make him think that a neighbor was doing it. You know, I'm just speculating, but generally the people that they target, the males that they target, have an interest in guns, own guns, are Second Amendment advocates, or have access to guns. And it's strange that, yeah, and this goes for teenagers to people all the way up to, 75, 85 years old. These are the people that they're always hitting with this shit, just hoping that they'll go and, blow away their neighbor or do something stupid. This guy was probably pretty close to becoming a James Holmes and didn't even realize it. It's like a choose your own adventure book. He thinks it's paranormal eventually, so it goes in that direction. If he would have thought it was a neighbor or the government doing it to him, it would have ramped up in a different way.
It got to a point where I would see flashes and streaks and look like spirits running around my house.
Fireworks. His optical nerves are getting hit with this electromagnetic energy that is hopping on the power lines, radiating through your home. See, your smart meter, an old meter used to be just a random meter. It could be any meter. All it did was count electricity. Somebody would have to come read it, and this meter was associated with your home. Well, now you have a wireless address right on your meter, just like an IP address, where they know who owns the meter. They can attack you without attacking anybody else on the block if they don't want to. If they want to attack everybody else on the block, they can do that too. Smart meters open up the door to all kinds of stuff. But anyway, his optical nerve is being hit with this stuff. His eyes, we'll just say his eyes are being hit with this electromagnetic energy. And when he would close his eyes at night, I guarantee you he was probably seeing a fireworks show as well.
I could see them. They'd be real fast and like shadow looking.
The shadows also happen when you're getting hit with this stuff. You see like shadows and things look wavy in your vision.
Strange, because I'm thinking, I'm not seeing this. I'm sleep deprived. I'm hallucinating, or my mind's playing tricks with me. I would hear simultaneous noises from different parts of the house.
That's one of the oldest tricks in the book. When you're getting hit with this stuff, like, for example, your house will crack, and like something up in the attic will like crack like the wood, and then you'll hear somebody walking across from one bedroom to the bathroom, like that, for example, something like that, and it just ups your stress level because you don't know where the noise is coming from. And a lot of people start to believe that something is actually in their home, or somebody is actually in their home, depending on where they're taking the choose your own adventure book.
I would hear something from my living room, sometimes from my bathroom, something from my kitchen at the same time.
And it's because this system, I've mentioned this in older videos, it learns the sounds of your house. So this computer system had already recorded and stored the sounds of somebody moving dishes in that kitchen, the sound of your door opening and closing in the back, the sound of your door opening and closing in the front, your cupboards opening and closing, everything.
I could hear the kitchen cupboard open and shut.
Open and shut. See, here's where the Hollywood comes into play. He said open and shut. He never said he could see somebody open up his cupboards and leave them open. There's a big difference. He heard the cupboards open and shut. That's it. He didn't see this. Now Hollywood is playing tricks on you. This isn't paranormal. This is a weapon system. They used this in the first Iraq War. For the normies out there, or people that just don't know this, they used this on the Iraqi troops and said it was Allah and told them to, surrender and basically take your firearms apart. And they did. They dismantled their firearms and surrendered. And it wasn't. It was some guy with a mic.
So I kind of smart aleckly said, you know what, if you're going to open the cabinet, shut them.
Not like ghosts are just going through his
I got
kitchen
to the point
cabinet.
where I was frightened. I had my anxiety level was through the roof. It was through the roof.
And that's exactly what they want. Your anxiety level through the roof. Because you're going to make stupid mistakes.
After weeks of unrelenting activity, James was physically and mentally drained.
I was trying to go to sleep, trying to get myself in relaxed mode, which I could not relax because of, days of not being able to sleep, exhaustion.
So that's another thing that they do here, is they try to keep you up forever. So when the guy finally tries to get some sleep, something's going to try to keep him awake.
Well, it feels like 2 or 3 people, doing this, trying to wake me up.
Okay, so he never says he sees any ghosts. He never says he sees any demons. He feels something nudging him, trying to keep him awake. Now, this is after days. This is classic targeting, to drive somebody to the point of being half out of their minds and doing stupid shit.
Trying to get my eyes open, shake me. In my mind, I was getting things like, help us, we need help, can you help us, where are we at?
In my mind. Now, think about that. He didn't say that he heard this right next to him. This time, it was in his mind. So they're hitting him with a weapons array. This isn't just, an audio weapon. This is electromagnetic. He could see things with his eyes that weren't there. He was starting to go through these deals. And I believe in the paranormal, but the paranormal realm, what people consider to be paranormal, has been absolutely hijacked by this bullshit.
After enduring months of weird sounds and troubling shadows in his home, James Creechbaum had been pushed to the breaking point. But when he was confronted by 4 paranormal entities, it became too much to bear.
Was he being confronted by 4 paranormal entities, or did he start hearing 4 paranormal entities? You gotta really watch it with these people, because they twist stuff and they're trying to make it seem more paranormal than what it is. So, at the end of this, he ends up calling in his witch doctor friend, and they got rid of the paranormal entities, allegedly. Now, a lot of people would say, well, that's proof that it's haunted. And I think it's the exact opposite. It's possible that they knew right away that this isn't going to work with the guy, what they thought was going to happen, and they gave up and figured it would be a dramatic way to stop the operation. They were just seeing if it would work on him. Or there's always the possibility that you have a lot of this targeting happens to people all the time, and it's just to create a massive change in the belief system of a person. Turn the person from atheist to a Christian, turn them from a Christian to an atheist, turn them from an agnostic to a believer in the paranormal. It could be any of that, but if you can get somebody to exhibit massive change in their belief system, then that's a win for them. You're never going to get the actual reason out of these people, and they're going to find a dramatic way to go. Calling in the witch doctor and have her dramatically get rid of the ghosts is really a funny way to do it. If I was doing something like this to people, I would find that the funniest way to evaporate your existence from the house. And then they turn off the system. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, this is all bullshit. 99.9% of these show people who have been through targeting after a breakup, buying a new home, moving into a new place that you're renting, it's always you're under extreme stress in the first place, and then to pull the carpet out from under you throws you into an even deeper mode. I would like to actually talk to the guy and get his actual story rather than the Hollywood story, because these people are legit, the people doing the interviews, but they take what they're saying and they twist it. You know, a lot of people would say it costs way too much money to do something like this to James Creechbaum. You know, why would they do it to him? It doesn't cost anything. It's next to nothing to do what they do with these weapons now. Next to nothing. They do it to the general populace. That's what they did during MK Ultra and all these other experiments. They didn't target rich people or people that had the resources to expose this or stop it. And they did this to many, many, many people over the years. If you don't believe that they're using stuff like this, you need to do some serious research. And I'm not talking going to Snopes or one of these controlled sites. I'm talking about doing serious research. There's stuff going on that would have you in the corner sucking your thumb. You know, really, it's funny because back in the day, if you used to talk about ghosts or whatever, people would think you were, you know, fucked. And right when these weapons started coming into place and they were being used quite regularly, you had these ghost shows getting pushed on the mainstream to take up the slack. And what happened after that was it inverted reality so much that you had people that would normally think logically, that are supposed to think logically, stop and go, are you sure that's not paranormal? You don't have a ghost? If you were to explain some of this to people and say, you know, this is a technology, you're using logic and a lot of times proof. And these people are like, are you sure that's not paranormal? And the only reason why they're talking like that so openly and without logic is because of these paranormal shows that have been pushed on the mainstream and put in place so that if somebody hears a voice or if somebody hears something going on, they stop using logic and start going to the witch doctor realm of shit. It's absurd and it has to stop. And it's helped this. It's almost as if the ghost shows were put in place right when they started using this stuff on the mainstream. None of this is uncommon. The strange sounds heard around the world, noises in people's homes, voices in people's homes, singing and noises when they have an air conditioner or a fan on, visualizations, seeing electrical anomalies, all this stuff. It's all the same weapons array, all of it, every bit of it. And that's what people need to realize. This is getting chopped up. You have the instances where they just don't say anything, the weird hums, or they'll say it's coming from a factory somewhere, and they blame it on a factory. You have, the voices that they try to blame on. It's either paranormal or mental illness. And that's what they're doing with these people, except for the Cuban people because they were government employees, right? Come on. Use your logic. I believe in the paranormal realm, but it's been hijacked. It has been hijacked by this stuff. And we need to kick the witch doctor out and start using fucking logic. Logic wins. It prevails every time. This is what's going on. It's not something different. And that's what they do. Splinter and divide, splinter and divide, splinter and divide. It is all the same weapons array. All right, now let's get into the NASA stuff. Recently I was listening to what NASA calls sounds of space. And right away, I could hear stuff within that alerted me to the fact that these were fabricated sounds of space. I could literally just hear it with the naked ear. Like, I didn't have to manipulate it at all or boost anything. So what I did was I took the recording and adjusted it manually removing frequencies until I could hear louder in the recording what I could hear with the naked ear to show other people. So I'm just going to play it and we'll go through it. This is just a clip of it. I mean, all of it was phony, but this is ultra phony. Check this out. Okay, that's a voice. For sure. These are just a bunch of voices and sound effects layered over each other and warped. Some are slowed down, some are sped up. Listen to the right channel here. That's a voice, dude. That's not the fucking sounds of space. Okay, so sounds of space, totally debunked. Listen to this one. Okay, let's go to the right channel on this one. Check this out. Not the sounds of fucking space. So, somebody's lying. Somebody's absolutely lying. These aren't sounds from space, unless it's their sounds that they're shooting out, recording, and then going, here, check out these sounds from space. From NASA. I think a lot of the money have gone to the development of these weapons, for certain. Because this is bullshit. I just proved that there's voices in this. What are you going to say to me to tell me otherwise? Seriously. Okay, so I took the right channel from the same clip and adjusted it again, just in case there was that one guy out there that was like, you know, well, there are a lot of things that if you tweak them out, they kind of sound like a human voice. No, it's a human voice, dude. So let's rock it. Human voice. Human voice. Human voice. Human voice. Human voice. Human voice. Sounds like it says, that's so stupid. They're right about that. That's so stupid. That's what it sounds like it says. Good God. So anyway, NASA sounds of space, fucking fake as fuck.